Welcome to Escape the Noise, a podcast about hiking, mental health, and everything in between. I'm Joe Vogel, your host. We're coming to you from the Silicon Slopes studio in downtown Provo, Utah. Our guest this week, Jefferson Chase, a prominent member of the local trail running community and peak bagger extraordinaire. Jefferson grew up in Utah Valley and has a contagious passion for the Wasatch Mountains, especially Mount Timpanogos. While he has always loved the outdoors, it was a challenging time in his life 5 years ago that triggered a new obsession with hiking and trail running. If you were, we talked about this a little bit before we went on air, but, if you were kind of talking to people that are just getting into hiking, right? Maybe feel a little intimidated by some of these trails or it's longer hikes, right? Including Timpanogos, which, for somebody that's new could take like 12, 13 hours. What would you say to them?
Yeah, I would say that if you're thinking about getting into it, I would definitely say it's not that hard. You don't need all the gear. You can wear, you don't need heavy duty expensive boots. You don't necessarily need your hiking poles. Just a simple backpack to put some fuel, nutrition and hydration in there. So I would say just try it, and get in touch with somebody, whether that's through you at Timpanogos Hiking Co. or through social media, of just asking people, hey, I'm thinking about this is probably what I could do. I could do, 3 or 4 miles with this much climbing elevation gain, and just try it. And it's not that hard to get into. And once you experience it, you'll crave it and crave it more. So my suggestion would be to get into it.
Just do it.
Take advantage of how beautiful our area is, how beautiful the trails are, and all the value that you can get out of it. Just give it,
How often do you, now, you're really, this is something that's become a passion for you, but how often do you go out into the mountains? How often do you go hiking, trail running?
Yeah, hiking and trail running. I try to do it. It depends on what cycle of training I'm in versus road marathons or trail ultra marathons and trail races. But if I'm just focusing on trail running, then I'm out pretty much 5-6 days a week. I usually will only take 1 day off a week. And we're generally doing not even that many miles. We could do 4 or 5 miles, but you have some elevation in there,
right,
of 2,000 or 3,000 feet. Something like Kive Peak is, it's only 3.5 miles up, but you're gaining just about 3,000 feet of elevation. So that's another fun thing about hiking is there's not long distances. It's more slower paced, not hard on your knees, your back. That would be another piece of advice, is a lot of people maybe have this thought that it's hard on your knees, and it's really not. You're just as likely to have like sore knees if you're walking, through New York City or something like that all day long. So it's something that you can just easily get into.
Right. And there's, obviously you can look on All Trails and see,
Yep. That's a great app.
Distance, if it's easy, if it's hard.
Yeah.
And so if you're just getting started, right. For me, like that was kind of helpful in the beginning, is just saying like, okay, this is maybe where I would start and then work my way up to some of these other ones.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Have you done any hiking outside of Utah?
So I've done the Grand Canyon. Mm-hmm. We've done that twice. Well, I've done it twice with those same buddies. It's the rim to rim to rim. So most people will just go from the south rim to the north or north to south. And there's some people that do rim to rim to rim to rim, which what they call the R5. which is 100 miles, and that's just amazing to me. It's incredible. The R3, I've started from north to north, and then south to north to south again. And so that's something that I've done outside of Utah. I wanted to do, my bucket list is Yosemite.
Yeah.
For sure. I want to get there this year.
Yosemite's incredible.
I haven't been since I lived in California. Yeah. So I really want to get out there. And then I also want to get to the Tetons.
Oh yeah.
I haven't done the Tetons yet. So really only the Grand Canyon is what I have done outside of Utah. But I mean, I want to do more, but again, Utah has world class.
You got 5 national parks, right? You've got all these.
Exactly. And I've run in Zion, I've run in Bryce. So I've done other areas, but all in Utah. And but there's definitely beautiful areas that are on my bucket list.
More adventures, right?
Yes. Yep.
So when you're thinking about, all right, so if you're thinking about your favorite hikes, right? I think I know what your favorite's going to be. Yep. But if you could give me your top 3,
okay,
what would those 3 be?
Yeah, so I've already mentioned them. Timpanogos, hands down. I mentioned this in to you before, but anybody who knows me, when I post on social media, I'm always talking about her. She I know she's not mine, but I talk about Timpanogos like she's my lover, my my enchantress, or whatever you want to say. But so Timpanogos for sure is again, it offers everything, just absolutely incredible, and it really is it's a famous mountain. I mean, back when who was it? I'm trying to remember the guy's name that started the
annual Timp hike.
Yeah,
Eugene Roberts.
There you go. Thank you. Yeah, Robert Torn. That was named after Eugene. And he would have newspapers write about it, and it really is a famous mountain, and it offers all types of beauty.
Do you have a favorite trail on that?
Yeah, so it's going to be Timpaniki, and I'm trying to say that correctly. A lot of people say Timpanuki, but it's Timpaniki.
Yeah.
That's my favorite one. Starting from Aspen Grove has its own unique.
You get all the waterfalls,
type of site.
Lots of switchbacks.
You have, another advantage to Aspen Grove is you have pretty much self-service the whole way up until you get to the glacier. But I just love the variety of the Timpaniki Trail. I love the rock slides. I love the pines. I love the waterfalls that you get to see there. We're drinking out of those waterfalls without filtration most of the year. And so far we haven't been sick. And so we don't even need to carry a lot of water with us. And then you get to the meadow, which is just stunning, and all those wildflowers that you get to see some on the Aspen Grove side, but not as much as you do on the Timpaniki side. So that's my favorite route. Again, I've done Everest Ridge. That's coming the west face. And
talk about that more, because I think a lot of people aren't as familiar with that. It's harder, obviously.
Yeah, it's a lot harder. It's a lot more dangerous. There's and it's all hiking. When you go, the way that I did it was we did the South Ridge line of Big Baldy.
Yeah.
And that was a ridge I got introduced to by a buddy of mine, Bill Hyatt. He basically owns that trail and that climb, because everybody knows that he does it all the time.
Well, his footage is amazing. We follow him as well. And he's fantastic. Yeah. I just look at his videos and I'm like, what?
Yeah. And he introduced us, a few of us to that ridge line, and we ended up giving our little group a name called Baldy Boys. And because we would always do that.
That's more appropriate for me.
Big bald, right. And so we started up that ridge, and then we cut across towards Little Baldy, and then that's the way you access it, is you go straight up through a ravine, and then you're on a ridge the rest of the way. But it's literally super steep. I don't know what the grade percentage is, and you're hiking the whole time. And then the last maybe quarter mile, there is a stretch where you have to, it's just a cliff face.
You have to climb.
And so you do have to do some, climbing there, some scrambling up it. And that for most people is scary to do. So it is a lot more riskier, but you're getting a different viewpoint of the mountain and a different challenge. So those are the three ways. You can also do it from the north side. I don't know that route, but I know you can do it from the north and head over to the south towards the shack.
And what about, when you go up to Battle Creek, right? Mm-hmm. Can you go up above that and keep going to Timp?
Yeah, so that's basically the same area that I'm talking about so Battle Creek, you can access that same Everest Ridge through Battle Creek as well.
That's what I thought, yeah.
So that's probably what most people do. We just have a passion for Baldy, that ridge. And so we go that way. But yeah, that's the normal way would be Battle Creek Trailhead.
Okay. And those are the three main...
Those are the three ones that that I know of. And, but again, my passion, my favorite one. Oh, and I should probably mention this for anybody who's interested, but the Timpanogos side is actually more runnable for those who want to trail run or move faster. It's not as steep, and where like you mentioned the switchbacks at Aspen Grove, it's just a lot of this, and anyway, it's
starting last year, right? On that side, the Timpanogos side, you have to get a permit, right?
Yeah. A lot of people were still trying to figure out how to navigate that because you do have to get it in advance and they go really quick. I think they only offer maybe 25 parking spots, something like that. And that's on recreation.gov.
Yeah.
You can download the app. And I was actually buying in advance, even though I maybe knew I wasn't going, I would buy them in advance, hoping I could get, give them to people.
Yeah.
There's another way, and that's just the weekends and holidays.
Right.
I should probably mention that just weekends and holidays, you have to have that pass or a parking ticket. And
so weekdays you can just drive up.
Yep. Weekdays you can drive into the parking lot and you won't have any trouble. But there's Pine Hollow parking lot that they don't. That's an additional 2.25 miles that you can walk up the road. So that's an alternative. There's also pullouts. There's 3 turnouts that you can fit 3, sometimes 4 cars in that are also available. But if you do park on the side of the road close to the Timpanogos Trail parking lot, you will get ticketed, and people are getting towed.
Okay.
So
good to know.
Yeah. So you guys, I'm sure, will post that on your Instagram, your social media, or Facebook.
Yeah.
To let people know. But that was new last year. So
we had a lot of people asking us. In the store, and because it was the first year they'd done it, we were trying to figure it out too.
Yeah.
So.
And I don't know still if you can transfer, if they're going to ask for names. I want to talk to the Forest Service and find out, or whoever's in charge of it, and find out if I were to buy 2 or 3 passes and I wasn't going to use them, could I transfer them to you,
right,
Kai, or whatever?
Yeah.
And, if that's possible to do, because that would be helpful to know. A lot of times your plans change or you're feeling sick, and those parking passes are so valuable now to be able to access the trail.
Well, a lot of people hike that mountain. I've heard potentially 100,000 people a year hike Mount Timpanogos, which is insane.
Yeah, it's incredible.
It's insane. Sorry, I want to get to your other 2 hikes because we've only covered, we got caught up on, understandably, with Mount Timpanogos. One more question though about Timpanogos. Do you slide down the glacier, or have you done that?
I haven't slidden down that since college.
Okay.
So I don't do that. I see people do it. It looks fun. I think I'm most nervous about like hitting an unseen rock or something and
well, a lot of people do get injured that way.
So
I mean, I know a lot of people do it and have historically, but it is, I think, the most common way that people get hurt. On that mountain.
So I have not done that since college, and I love the trails. My passion is that single track trail. Just looking down that dirt path and then just whatever else is around you too. So.
All right, and your other 2.
Okay, my second one would be Grove Creek to Battle Creek, or vice versa. It's a loop, and this I would recommend almost as much as Timpanogos. It's not as hard as Timp, And but this is a 7-mile loop. I don't remember the elevation gain, maybe 3,000 feet. And there are 2 meadows that are just spectacular. I'm divorced, and so when I often, not often, every time I go through there, I'm like, I think this is where I'm going to propose to my, like, that's how beautiful it is. It's just so beautiful. And in the same group, Tyler, Craig, Bill, Andy, we have these yells that we do. Each one of us has like this nature call, basically, when we're feeling the energy of the mountain, when we're in a zone, we're feeling that vibe. We all have these calls, and through those meadows, we make our calls, and it just echoes. And anyway, it's amazing.
I'm definitely going to do that one this year.
Do that one. It's just.
Which side do you start on?
I usually start on the Battle Creek side.
Okay.
No, sorry, the Grove side, Grove Creek.
And where is
Grove Creek is in Linden, and that's where they hang the flag, the big flag across the canyon. So that's Grove Creek, and the reason we start at Grove Creek is it's not as steep on that side, and then there is, when we have a lot of water, there's the river comes down into a reservoir, and so we can, after we're super hot and everything, we can soak in that and then the car is literally like 300 meters from that little reservoir part of that river.
Nice.
So that would be my second one, and then third is Kive Peak, or what was Squaw Peak. Yeah. Again, just so easily accessible, and it's beautiful, and you just get to see, that's the closest view of the valley, because you're literally just right there at the
those views are spectacular. Even
Provo.
Looking back.
Yeah.
Yep. And I feel like when people are coming from out of town and they ask me like, what's a hike I can do? Because Rock Canyon's so close, right? And because that hike is not as long as Timpanogos, sometimes they don't always have that much time. That's one I often recommend.
Yes, that's a great one.
Because then, like you said, you can see the whole valley. And it's quite a bit of elevation gain, for how short it is. And it's just, I'm with you. That's a great hike.
But it also has a couple of littler meadows, Kive Peak Trail does, and that are just stunning.
Yeah. All right. I've got one more question for you, if you don't mind. And that's, a big part of Timpanogos hiking is emphasizing mental health. I'm wondering if you can just talk in kind of a personal way about like what this all means to you, right? Just as somebody like, that's really taken this up over the past 5 years, but always loved the outdoors. We live in difficult times, right? And I think a lot of us have gone through personal things. I certainly have. What has it meant for your mental health? What has it done for your mental health? Yeah,
it's a place I choose the mountains to go up to leave as soon as I get to that trailhead, tie my shoes, and I've got my pack on. As soon as I step onto the dirt of that trail, that's where I'm able to just leave everything else behind. All my worries, I choose to not carry that, and to be able to open up and to feel and to just find peace. And for me, time and time again, like I had mentioned, it in these last few years have been some of the hardest years of my life, family-wise, work-wise. And I have been able to get up into the mountains and be able to just reset, re-energize, like just everything. I'm able to just leave it and just let it go. And coming back down from the mountain, then I'm just more able to more clarity. It's like that's where you go to find clarity. Is there's so much clarity and so much peace on those mountains, on those trails that you can't find anywhere else.
It's amazing how simple it is, right?
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, and how primal, it's just this kind of, human impulse, right?
Yeah.
To especially now, I mean, it's like society has become so sophisticated and, advancements in technology every day, every week, right? And yet this very simple act of just leaving it behind, right? And going out into the mountains, into nature, somehow has this really profound effect on us.
Yeah. And you're getting the serotonin, you're getting the dopamine, all those things that help with mental health, that are healthy for you. And I think there's a reason. I mean, let's take Native Americans, for example. They always had their sacred places up on mountains where they have that clarity and where they don't have they're closer to God and to and just to the creation of everything.
Yeah, it's unique, right? It's a unique experience, and like you said, there's many levels to it. There's the fact that we're doing something physical, the fact that you're getting sun, but basic things, right? That like somehow I think we've overcomplicated life, right? And hiking is not overcomplicated. It's very simple.
Yeah, and maybe another aspect of the mental health part is talking through things. Yeah. So let's say you decide that that maybe you do want to work through some issues in your life. Me and my friends, me and strangers, there's been times where I've been on a trail and meet somebody for the first time, and we just start talking, and you find common ground on something. And then I get back to my car and I'm like, did I really just open up that much? Like, that might be embarrassing. They know more of this part of my life than some of my best friends do. And that part of the mental health, there's so much value in that.
There is. And that's kind of an interesting thing too, because I think, again, when we're just in everyday life, I feel like most conversations are pretty surface level, right? Yeah. And it's kind of interesting how hiking or just being out there lends itself to these like soul-searching deep conversations.
Truth serum. It's like there's like truth serum in the air, whatever, that
exactly.
You just open up and really that in and of itself is for mental health there's just so much value there that you can't get anywhere else.
Well, hey, Jeff, look, this was awesome. We were so excited to have you on the podcast. I could talk to you for like another couple hours. Maybe I will after this. But we appreciate you coming on. We'll probably have you back sometime. But we love to follow your adventures, and your handle on Instagram. Yeah,
Chase Flyboy.
Okay.
Is my Instagram. I love you guys. I remember back in 2023 that I had reached out to you. I made a comment. I think you guys started in summer of 2022, and I saw something on Facebook, and I posted something about it, and I've been a fan of you guys ever since. I love what you guys are doing. I love the products that you offer. I love your passion for it, and I'm excited to see you guys continue to grow, continue to offer and add value to the community. Like, I'm excited. This is great.
Well, we appreciate it. And it's definitely, you have been there since the early days. So we'll remember that.
Yeah, that's great.
So thank you, Jeff.
Okay, Joe, thank you.
All right. Thanks again to Jefferson for joining us. You can follow his adventures on Instagram at Chase Flyboy. Escape the Noise is produced by Timpanogos Hiking Co. I'm your host, Joe Vogel. A big thank you to Kai Bradford for his assistance with scheduling and production, to the Wildfires for our intro music, and to Silicon Slopes and Weston Tanner for hosting us and helping us make it all happen. Thanks again for listening. We'll see you again next episode.